Would you sleep together with a friend, one-on-one, in the same bed, even if you had a partner? We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss a lot of things here today about what you would do with another friend, just one-on-one, even while you're in a relationship. So maybe you want to hear our opinions, and why don't you
Take it from us.
Doom, 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 doom.
Damn,
Yeah.
so upbeat
And
for
we're
such a wild topic.
Of course.
that we're
You
gonna
gotta
be talking
start
today.
high. We gotta start on a high first, and
And
then
then
we
hit an
start
all-time low in the
and
middle
then we
of the
talk about it.
episode.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay. We have seen this trend on TikTok where people rank what they would be okay with their partner doing with another thing, of another friend. So like different activities and stuff. So we've come up with a list of 5 activities, and we ourselves are gonna rank them, or rather talk about it, discuss, because we have differing opinions. But let's just set the context, clear for everybody. Both of us are in a relationship, and we're gonna, we are still in that relationship.
Thank
So
God.
this-
Yay.
So this is based on the assumption that one, we are in a relationship,
Yes.
and with what we are comfortable with our partners doing with a friend of the opposite
Or preferred.
preferred sex. Yes. So let's
What a
start.
mouthful. Okay, holy shit. Okay, so first thing on the agenda is to talk about gymming.
Okay. Yes.
Okay? Huh.
One. Oh wait.
I-
Also another disclaimer. This is all one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no third wheeler, fourth wheeler nonsense here. It's really just one-on-one.
Yes.
Wow, okay. I wanna say it's fine, but she looks really good in
Right.
athleisure.
Okay,
wear.
so-
I'm gonna be like, am I free? Can I join? Yeah. So
Okay.
I think
What if they're like? What if you're not free? It's like in between. Like you're in class, and then it's like, oh, but this is like a good timing for me to gym, and like and this person maybe is like good at weights, so they would like know how to like
Yeah.
spot correctly, that sort of
Ooh.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think, I personally would not want to withhold my partner from doing any, I don't want to control how she lives her life. So
Okay.
if she wants to go to the gym with someone else and it's only one-on-one and they have a class after together or something, then sure, go ahead.
Okay.
But I think it will get a bit iffy if he gets involved in her exercises. So what do I mean by that? If let's say she's bench pressing and she needs someone to spot,
Okay.
and the guy is literally there
Yeah.
looking at her by necessity,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bit like,
then-
that's a little bit iffy. But if it's
Right.
like 2 separate exercises, like she wants to run and fella
right.
wants to, work
Yeah.
like bench press,
Yeah.
there's no interaction
Right.
or minimal interaction. I think that's a bit more fine by me. But again, like I'm not gonna put a tracker on her and like see what they do. So to
Okay.
me, it's like I don't know if you're gonna be needing to spot one another or
Right,
what.
right, yeah.
So, and like you're all gonna be like sweaty in your
Yep,
athleisure wear
yep.
that hugs the curves really well.
Exactly.
Ah,
But you wouldn't restrict her from going.
I wouldn't lah, but I'll just like voice my concerns, voice
Okay.
my opinions on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just on her to receive, but also like how does she navigate that conversation, which I think we'll delve into in a different episode.
Okay. Okay.
So
interesting.
overall, I'm gonna say if I were to rank how comfortable I will be, 1 being super not comfortable at all,
Yeah.
to like 10 being like, oh yeah, I'm chill.
Like, whatever,
Go ahead,
yeah.
do it. I'm gonna rate this a solid 5. Yeah, we're gonna start off strong.
Okay.
Like I'm not
Okay.
super comfortable with it, but I'm
Yeah.
not super not comfortable with it.
Yeah. So you're in the middle. Like,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's that's the sound I would make. Yeah.
Okay,
You?
sure. Depends on what they do. If you're running
Interesting.
together, I'm okay with that. Like, go
Yeah.
join a run club.
You have
Go
to-
be you. Like, Fitzbo, yeah.
Okay.
Keeping in mind that this is one-on-one, if you're gonna gym together with this other girl, and then keep in mind also my boyfriend's not an athlete, not a gymmer, not a whatever. So it's like, why are you suddenly so interested in doing with another girl?
Yeah,
Unless other girl is like Fitzbo queen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like maybe she's like, oh, like I got a meal plan for you. I'm a nutritionist. Like I can help you out. Then maybe I'd be a bit more like, okay, like he's helping with like health. But I'm just this
Yeah.
random girl, and it's like, oh, can you help me spot? Girl, why can he spot? He can spot nothing. Okay, first of all, like close your eyes. Don't even look there. Number one. Number two,
Can you
like.
imagine like, oh, I've got a spot. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
3, 2, 1,
just
bam.
tell me when you fall. Let me know. No,
Wow,
but
that's so
yeah,
funny.
yeah, like as in, given the context,
Yeah.
like as in, I'd be a bit like, what's going on? Like, why are you suddenly so interested? But that being said, I would expect that he tells me if he's going to gym one-on-one if
Oh,
we go.
yeah,
So like you go to the gym at the same
Yeah,
time, but you
yeah.
do your own thing, but then you come together and you do lunch after. What
Okay,
else would that mean?
I don't know. I was like, whoa, one activity after another. We'll get on to lunching.
Yeah, we'll
with
get onto that later.
later.
Okay,
but back
yeah,
to you.
yeah. So that's why like gymming to me is like a bit more on a scale of 0 chill to 100% chill. I would be at a good like 4. Yeah,
4.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
more apprehensive about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Just because also like athleisure looks good on a woman, like it really does, and like let's just and also like men, not just like just any guy in general will look, you know what I mean? So I think also just in general, like let's not put ourselves in that situation.
Yeah.
As in I wouldn't feel comfortable, but if he reassures me and he's like, hey, like it's whatever, or if like I meet the girl for example and like she's like like, hey, like I'm not trying to do whatever, then okay, then that's fine.
But like if you know her beforehand, then,
Yeah.
then
So
it's
then
fine.
it's like I know that she's like a weightlifter.
Like
And
the
I'm
vibe check.
yeah, like
Really?
sure,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that's why to me, I would not prefer it, but there are certain exceptions.
Interesting.
Asterisks, terms and conditions. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned lunching
Yes.
with a member of the preferred sex, one-on-one.
Yes.
We'll get on to that now.
Yes.
How okay will you be, and you're gonna start this one off.
Sure.
How okay will you be if your boyfriend said like to you like, oh hey, I'm gonna have one-on-one lunch with 2 different kinds of people.
Okay.
Okay, 3. One, a group mate. So
Okay.
just knew like from this semester, like
Okay.
like only know a week ago.
Sure.
To lunching with a friend who's like from mutuals kind, not really that close,
Okay,
but like
okay.
just want to meet up
Okay.
and chat. To 3, best friend. Okay, but I
Okay.
know that you don't believe in a girl best friend.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like let's just deal with the first 2. What are your thoughts? Because I have 3 different opinions for 3 different scenarios. So you
Okay.
start first.
In general, I'm fine with it. I
Okay.
think a meetup is fine. I think if it's lunch, especially to me, I don't know what is it about like the night and day thing, but like for me, lunch is a bit more safer because to me, you would have lunch and then you have an activity afterwards.
Yes.
In my mind,
Yes.
at least. So it's like you can like cut it off at like a certain time. It's like, oh hey, I have to go.
Yeah.
And then like you would kind of like you'd move on with your life. Dinner, I don't know if it's just in my head, but I just feel like there's more room for like shit to happen at dinner time. But that's if I think too much about it. I think in general, if you're just doing lunch with another or a meal with another person,
Okay.
as in like it's either with someone you've just met or whatever, I'm fine with
Yeah.
it. And I think that's just because I do that too, so I would not want to restrict my boyfriend from doing that. And then, you know what I mean? Like it's not fair for him, and it's not fair for me either. So if we're both, as long as we just tell the other person, I'm like, hey, I'm going out for a meal with whoever. And then it's like, oh, like, I won't be able to reply during this time to this time because, I'm having lunch with whoever. Then that's fine. That's fine for me. Yeah.
So across the board, just 7 out of 10 chill? Or
Yeah,
even
I would
higher?
say 7, 7.5. I think if there's drinks involved, it's a bit different. So that's why I also don't say dinner. That's why I would be a bit more apprehensive towards a dinner.
Yeah.
Which is where I feel would be more likely for someone to, start drinking. But that being said, I would also have to like trust my boyfriend. Like, okay, like your limit, or it's like, hey, like and also just for the safety of the other person, like let's not have both of you drunk, okay? Like let's have one person
A
being
shit
able
show waiting to happen.
Yeah, like let's have one person be able to like make it to the car, like make it to the train
Real.
station,
Real.
and bring the other person
Real.
there.
Real.
Right? Like we're all about safety here. So yeah, I would say that if it's drinking, maybe like, oh, let me know. And then I mean both of us already have like we have a not rule, but we have a cap or that we tell each other. So for me, it's like whenever I go out and I go one-on-one, I have max like 1 drink, honestly. Yeah. And that's just for my safety.
Lightweight.
Oh no. It's just because like
okay, oops. I thought that was a joke. That didn't land at
No, it
all.
didn't.
Okay, shit.
Shit.
Shit. Okay.
No, it's also just to be fair because it's expensive.
Oh,
so the
real.
max I would go anyways
Real.
is 2, even
Real,
if I could
real.
go more.
Yeah.
Girl, in this economy,
Like forget my
so tough, yeah.
forget my tolerance.
Yeah,
My wallet
just-
can't tolerate it.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, actually, but I say max 1 just because also it's just like
Safety.
for both of us
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, and that's the same for him too, despite whatever tolerance. Yeah. But
Interesting.
that's one-on-one with another girl. Yeah.
Interesting.
Your
You brought
turn.
up a scenario that I think we can go in depth as well, which is
Okay.
driving with a member of
okay,
your
we can.
opposite sex.
Okay, but
Okay.
you clear this one first. Yeah.
Okay, so this one, so I say I got 3 different scenarios, 3 different opinions for 3 different scenarios.
Yes.
If you're dining with a stranger, I call them a stranger, even though like if you're group mates or whatnot, if
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
one-on-one, I'm not gonna suspect my partner, but I will suspect why that fella wants to go one-on-one with my girlfriend. If
Okay,
you're
but
telling me,
you're saying, so we are based on the presumption that they asked that, hey, can you go for lunch with me?
yes, yes,
Ah,
correct,
okay,
correct.
okay. Yeah,
It's
okay.
not like you have to do this lunch, it's like they want
As in,
to
it's
do
not
it.
like a group lunch, but everybody cannot make it.
So even if that's the case, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not just arrange another time? The group, it doesn't consist of just two of
Okay,
you.
interesting. Okay.
So what motive do you have to go
Oh,
one-on-one
I didn't think of
my
that.
with my partner? Yeah. So
Tough. Now I'll start thinking about it too. Okay, but yeah, continue.
so
Yeah.
that's for like the stranger. If you're talking in terms of like a friend, I will be like more okay with it, but again, it goes back to like, okay, like you're not that close. Like
But
one-on-one
it's a
to me,
friend. It's a friend.
but one-on-one to me is like you have to be close enough to be comfortable in that person's space. So if my girl doesn't recognize you as someone to be comfortable in a close one-on-one space with, why are they proceeding with it?
What if it's
Yeah.
just like they were primary school friends, and they're like
Oh, okay,
catching
then catch
now?
up. That's fine. Yeah, so then it goes on to like best friends, which has the
Oh,
element
primary-
of
okay,
which has the
interesting.
element of time involved to me. Because like if my girl knew this guy way before I came along, like you clearly there and you aren't together, clearly there's some sort of boundary that was drawn, whether by my partner or whether by that other fella.
Yeah.
And therefore you are not together, and therefore I would feel comfortable on you going on a one-on-one I nearly said date. Date is not okay. But like a dinner, lunch to me is way better than dinner as well.
Yeah.
But even dinner also, I'm fine as long as you come back by a certain time, not some ungodly hour, and you
Okay,
don't do anything
okay.
after that. And I would trust my partner in that regard. So to me, overall, a lot of yapping, but overall, I would say I'm like a 6.
6, really?
Yeah, a 6.
So you'd rather the person
6.
okay.
Yeah, I would rather
meal,
the person go on a meal than gym.
gym.
Yeah.
But meal, even if it's just a group mate.
Meal, if it's just a group mate, it's back
Like
down
the
to a
one-on-one.
5. Yeah.
Okay,
No, so it goes from 5, 6, and 7. You average out, it's a 6.
6. Okay, okay. But then what if they just like they knew each other like
Yeah.
during the time that you guys are together as well?
Ooh, what do you mean?
Because
Like-
you said there's a best friend element of time, right?
Yes.
So if the person came in before your life, you're like, whatever, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they knew each other at the same time as you? What if it's like,
And then they became best friends?
but they're not best friends, they're just friends.
Oh,
They're in between friends and best friends.
oh.
Because you said
I-
best friends comes with time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
the time is shorter.
Yeah.
So then wouldn't that not be a best
Like me considered as a... Oh, okay. So if she
As
knew
in
some guy
the same
time
time
as
as
me,
you,
and then
yes.
got as close to
yes,
him,
yes,
would I be okay with...
yes.
If there's... I would trust my girl to have some form of boundary drawn, and therefore I would be okay. But then it comes to the point of frequency. How frequent does this dinner, lunch situation
Okay.
happen?
Interesting.
If it's a
okay.
one-off situation, I would expect then be no sparks to fly and therefore nothing to worry about. But if you're having this dinner or lunch as often, almost as often as you and I are having lunch or dinner together, then
Okay.
that raises red flags for me.
So it just matters about, okay, like how many times they meet.
Yeah, frequency, closeness, all
Interesting.
that factors in.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's so
interesting.
analytical. But okay, so that's that situation. Now we
Yeah.
go on to the next situation. After dinner,
Yeah, driving. the
driving
person
home together. Like,
Okay.
or like, would you be okay if your boyfriend
Yeah.
drove another girl home?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to
Mm.
me. Actually, we talked about it before. For me,
And
I
the
would
result of that
be- I
conversation
would- Yeah, I'm
is-
getting there. No, okay, I say this
Okay.
because like, so both of us can't drive yet. So we put ourselves in a situation where, but obviously he'll start driving soon. And then so then it'd be like, oh, like, would you be comfortable sending? Or it's like even like a group outing. Then like you're sending girls
Yep.
home right afterwards.
Yep.
To me, I feel like at first when you first tell me, I'd be apprehensive. I'd be like,
Okay.
why are you doing that? Excuse me, take the bus, okay,
Yeah.
or take bus
Take a
11,
Grab,
your
take
own
an
2
Uber,
legs,
take a
okay,
Grab, yeah.
So, but okay, but if I'm being realistic as well, if I was in a situation late at night or it's like 11, I'd want someone to send me home, and not I'd want, but it's like it's nice because
Yeah.
you don't need to wait for the bus is one, but also like safety is
Yes.
more important, right? So.
Yeah.
I think if it's more of like if he told me like, hey, I'm gonna send these girls home or I'm gonna send her home,
Are you okay with it?
yeah, that sort of thing. So maybe not necessarily asking for permission, but like letting me know.
Yeah.
And then it's like roughly it's like, okay, like 11 o'clock by the time you reach the person's house and then drop the person off and then like you reach back to your own house will be like midnight. I'll give you that 1 hour time frame in Singapore at least, right?
Yep.
So then it's like, okay, then that's fine because it's an hour and then you check back with me at like 12, then I'm like, okay, cool. But if it's like radio silent all the way until like 2 a.m., girl, what's going on? Let me pull out the live 360, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you know what I mean? And I would expect if, let's say, you know, people always share, oh, I start breaking down and crying and like, oh, like, you know, so as they're driving home, then they, you know, talk
Share
about
their
that
life
shit.
story.
Yeah, then, oh, actually, I want to continue talking.
Yeah.
I would expect that he would text me first. Or like, if I text him, I'd be like, hey, where you at? He just give me a quick like, oh, like, I'm dealing with something, or like, hey, I'm talking to someone, like, we'll chat back with you later. Yeah, but it's really okay, but this has changed over time. So if you asked me previously, I would have said no. I would have said hella no, like absolutely not.
Zero.
Yeah,
Chill.
correct.
Yeah.
But now I feel like it's changed because I've come to the realization, life-shocking realization, that if your partner wanted to cheat, he would anyways. You know what I mean? Like, if they wanted to cheat, there's nothing that you could do that could stop them from cheating.
Wow.
So, as in, that to me is the worry with doing something one-on-one with another girl, in my case, right? Yeah, so if they wanted to cheat, they would. So if you put them all in these situations, like, and if shit happens, so be it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I've been myself, I've done what I can do, but at the same time, I can't control you. And
Yeah.
no matter what I do, you would have done it anyway. So
Yes.
that's why I've been a bit more relaxed about the situation. If you want to drive a person home or whatever, yeah. But that being said, obviously, given the guise of like, oh, your safety, you know, like your safety and like you're not drunk driving, that sort of thing, then like, yeah, go ahead. Just let me know beforehand.
Interesting. Mine is the flip side of that perspective because
Okay, yeah.
you're worried if your man pulls something like because the way that I'm hearing it is
Yeah.
if he wanted to cheat, he would have already.
I
So
think
it's
both parties involved.
true, but in this regard, I would assume
Yeah.
that the guy is in the driver's seat, right? Like, okay.
Okay, sure.
Like
Yeah.
I no gender stereotypes here, but like assuming the guy is in the driver's seat, and therefore
Yeah.
in my scenario, it would be the boy
Driving her home. Yeah.
driving her home,
Yeah.
and therefore he's in the driver's seat, and
Yeah.
therefore he has control of the car.
Yeah.
To me, I am not really okay with that idea because if he goes rogue,
Yeah.
he can very easily lock the door and
Yeah,
stuff can
yeah.
happen, right?
No, that's true, yeah.
But that's like if it's a stranger. If it's a stranger driving you home, unless it's a Grab, no, absolutely not. Like
Okay,
I am
okay.
not comfortable at all.
Okay.
But like if it's a group mate
Yeah.
who you just knew from this semester,
Yeah, yeah.
no, like I rather not.
Okay.
Um,
yeah, like safety.
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
But like if it's like a close friend, like one of her best friends, and like driving her home, I would still be very apprehensive towards the idea.
Okay.
But having said that, like I would have done the vibe check already, and I'll be like, okay,
Right,
it's
right,
just
yeah.
from like school to your house, and it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
And like he doesn't know exactly where you stay, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. He just knows the
Okay.
block number. That's it. But I think in general, I'm just a bit more apprehensive towards the idea because of the one-on-one time that they
Okay.
have in an enclosed area. It's like really private. It's different when you're having a lunch date because there's just people around. You know, you can't get into too much
fair.
intimate detail.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like the setting doesn't, not say allow, but like promote the idea of you
Doesn't
sharing
incite that,
intimately,
yeah.
with this other person in the vicinity. Whereas a car is different. A car is really just like an enclosed space with the two of you involved.
I think it matters about frequency as well. Like if you're always constantly sending this person home, does
That's
that
true.
change your mind? Because
100%.
to me it does, because I'd be like, another head scratch from her. Why do you keep sending this one person
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
If it's really like a location, like, oh, we live like, you know, same street. Like, so I have a friend who lives like 2 streets away from me.
Yes.
So he will always offer to like drive me and send me home to and from like school and stuff, because we also share the same classes. So to me, most of the time, is it honestly 50% of the time I say yes, 50% of the time I say no. One is just out of respect for like my boyfriend, because I also, yeah. But number two, it's also like, honestly, sometimes I just want to go myself. You know what I mean?
Real.
But
You just
like,
need that me time.
correct. But that being said, it's like, like I tell him in advance, like, hey, like this is happening. So he's fine with it now, because it's like he knows, and like he's also met the guy before, so like it's fine and whatnot. But I would, if it's, flip scenario, if that same thing happened, which is why I think I'd be okay if it's like location, or you live same street, whatever, then I kind of get it. But if it's like you live on like one end and then like you keep
purposely
driving,
drive, yeah,
correct. Or even not one end, but it's like, it's like it's out of the way.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
keep doing that again and again. That's
No,
something.
That's red flaggish to me.
Yeah.
But that's outrightly red flaggish. I think on the
Oh, and also if the girl tries something, as in like, cause okay, I'm assuming the cheating thing is like if let's say my boyfriend wanted to, he would, right? But this also applies to the girl. If the girl tries something, and like
Yeah.
let's say they drive home one day, girl tries something, and then like if he offered to like drive her again, I'd be like, excuse me.
Do you not
Like,
catch that the first
yeah,
time?
exactly.
Yeah,
Like if she already did that, I would.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
would not,
100%.
you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be driving the person again. Okay, speaking for all my ladies out there. Okay, yeah, that's all.
But okay, no. So yeah, I 100% agree with that. But I also like when it comes to the scenario of the guy and her living on the same street,
Yeah.
or maybe just in the same
Like
district.
vicinity, yeah.
The same not state, but just place.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be okay if she always accepted or was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
asked to
Oh,
to
okay.
be driven
Interesting.
back.
Yeah.
So to
Asking
me,
is something. Yeah.
yeah, so to me it's like you come on, like if you don't end class late or whatnot, like you can take the public transport or I can drive you, like
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
willingly come down and drive you.
Fair enough, yeah.
But that's on my partner's end. On the guy's end, I'll be like, bro, why do you want her in your car that much? Like so
Okay,
often, so
okay,
much.
interesting,
Like
yeah.
what are you trying to pull? It can't be
Right, okay.
every single time, like every other week. Like, okay, maybe aside from like classes, like you end class late, then okay, fine. I get that it's a regular thing. But beyond that, it's like once summer hits, you got no other reason
Right,
to like
right, yeah.
wanting to drive my girl.
You're just
like,
friends by convenience.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
you live on the
wow,
same street
shag.
and go to
Yeah.
the same class.
Wow, shag. But like, yeah, so it's like beyond that, it's like, why are you hanging around up to the same time that she's about to finish her stuff
Right,
to
okay,
like then
okay.
offer? Like, what move are you trying to pull?
But
That's-
how open then do you expect your partner to be? Do you know what I mean? Like,
What do you mean? In terms of what?
so that means they'd have to tell you like every week, like, oh, by the way, this person's driving me home, or is it kind of like oh, by the way, this person's
Like-
gonna drive me home, like,
Every single week, like
or like
every time
mostly
we have.
every single week, yeah, because
every
we
time
have
we
class
have class.
together, yeah.
Huh. I think if she said that to me up front, I'll be like,
Oh, you would be less.
I would be less
okay.
inclined because like there's
Oh,
just
interesting.
there's just the element of repetition, and like I wouldn't like it to be a
So
routine.
even if she told you in advance, you'd still be like, no. Like,
because it's a routine that's gonna happen
okay.
for weeks on end.
So it's the action that matters more, yeah.
It's the frequency that matters more to me.
Right,
Like the
okay.
fact that you're doing this so often and like and like again going back to my own experience is like my ex when she was overseas.
Yeah.
Like for like we were doing long distance relationship, she was overseas for exchange.
Yeah.
Because they live in the same apartment with the rest of their group mates, she was basically his passenger princess.
Right.
And
yeah.
that was like that didn't ring any bells in my head then, but now it rings a lot of bells in my head.
Right.
If my goal now is to become a passenger princess of another fella's car,
Okay,
that wouldn't
let me
sit well with me.
let me ask you something then, because you
Yes.
clearly, I mean, you drive and you've
Yes.
driven a lot of people home.
Yep.
As in, like,
Yep.
So then, would you, now that you're in that relationship, would
Yes.
you then, like, you stop yourself from offering to other girls?
Yes, like out of
Okay.
respect for my partner, and also because she has told me before,
Okay.
like I am
okay.
not comfortable with you driving another girl one-on-one home.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
girl, Grab is a thing. Gojek is a thing.
Right.
Use it.
But
you
the
know?
economy is tough.
Real. So
I know.
I recognize that also.
Yeah.
So what I tell my partner is like, okay, I'm not gonna offer, and I'm not even gonna say that I drove here today. Like if I come to a function,
Yeah.
like not a club lah, maybe like just a house party, right?
Okay, yeah.
And like we need to go home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it out there and be like, hey guys, I drove.
Right, right,
Like
yeah,
who wants a
yeah,
ride?
yeah.
No.
But if
Like,
circumstance.
if let's say like, oh, like who drove today? Like, oh, me. Then if I feel tired, I'm just gonna say, sorry, I really want to just go home and rest.
Right.
Or if it's just like one other girl, I get a sensing first. Who here
Okay,
needs,
okay.
like someone else will ask, who here needs a lift? Then I see the hands. If there are more guys than girls, then I'll be like, you want to ride or not? Let's go.
Oh, okay,
Send you
so
home.
you will-
Yeah, but yeah, I gauge the
Yeah.
situation first. I gauge the demographic. You see
Okay,
you see
okay.
the demographic. Then, but if there's like more girls to
Calculating.
guys, then the probability is that chances are I'll be ferrying more girls back home
Right,
than
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
So then I'll be like, sorry, I'm damn tired. I
Yeah.
really want to go home and rest. I have something on tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's how I would assess.
Okay.
But like, I have driven girls, my female friends home one-on-one before. My partner knows that. But now I've stopped that out of respect for her.
Okay.
So
So your ranking on chillness scale?
ranking on chillness scale for her to be driven home by another guy,
Yes.
I think like
I'm gonna guess close to a 2.
huh?
Close to a 2.
Close to a 4. I'll give
Okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Not that low.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
not that
interesting.
low. You?
Nah, I'm at a good like 7, I think. 6 to 7, yeah. It just like I
Wow.
said, as long as you are open enough with me, I think it's fine, yeah. And also, I would expect it more to happen in a group setting, just because I also feel like it's very awkward for you to go one-on-one in a
Yeah.
car.
No, so
but
if
if
it's-
it is
if it's-
one-on-one, then it's like, I mean, yeah, like if it's a location, same location. Because like I said, I have my own, like, like I've also done that, and we
Yeah.
also made it clear
Yeah.
that like 50% or whatever, like, oh, you let me know in advance. So yeah.
To me, if
fine
it's
with
like a
that.
group setting, if there's more people in the car and you just so happen to be living the furthest away, and
Yeah, yeah,
therefore
yeah.
you
Then you
become
end
the
up
last
one-on-one.
person,
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Then
that
it's
to
like
me is like an
whatever.
8, 8,
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, but next